How's it going, everyone? We have exciting news of a huge Xbox game that will be revealed here shortly. I think whether or not you want to call it an Xbox game, because I don't think the game and the franchise was ever quite entrenched within the Xbox ecosystem, but by definition, it is a part of the Xbox family, so to speak. But it looks to be coming to PlayStation 5 as well, and it will be a multi-platform game, incredibly exciting as far as that's concerned. As noted on Insider Gaming, exclusive Doom the Dark Ages to be revealed at Xbox Game Showcase, and it was noted by Nate the Hate 2, Doom the Dark Ages will be announced at the Xbox Game Showcase next month and will be revealed as a multi-platform release. Yes, it's coming to PlayStation 5. That is a gigantic win because Doom is one of those franchises that's always been multi-platform. It's been available on PS4 with Doom and Doom Eternal. And it looks like with the next title, it will be coming to PlayStation 5, hopefully right away at launch. If it's getting revealed as a multi-platform game, as in coming to PlayStation 5, I would imagine that it's going to be coming out at launch on PlayStation 5. Generally speaking, if you want to do a timed exclusivity deal or something like that, you portray the game as an exclusive for a while because, well, it is, and you want to incentivize people to buy your console that you have exclusivity for. If you're just announcing it multi-platform right out the gate, there's no reason to do that, and I think there would be a release right off the bat. As noted on Insider Gaming understands that the next game in the Doom franchise is set to be revealed during this year's Xbox Game Showcase on June the 9th. The game, which has been under the codename/placeholder title Year Zero, is understood to have the final name Doom the Dark Ages and has been in development for at least 4 years. Makes sense, given that Doom Eternal came out in early 2020. Last year, I heard of early details of the next entry into the Doom franchise, which was described to me as a medieval-inspired Doom world. That sounds absolutely effing awesome and something I would be all over. Excited about that. While that doesn't necessarily give much information to go on, Year Zero, the Dark Ages and medieval-inspired starts to paint a vivid picture of where the series could be going next. I really find it exciting and compelling to see this setting in the context of a Doom game, and we'll see how the game ultimately turns out. Doom is one of those franchises that I think with the acquisition of Bethesda, you got a juggernaut of an IP there, but you know, releasing it as a multi-platform game makes a lot of sense, given that this is a game, this is one of those titles that's going to sell a significant amount of $70 copies on PlayStation 5 as well, and you would really be hampering your own sales numbers by keeping this game as an exclusive, and we're seeing more and more that titles are going to be multi-platform, and that is incredibly exciting to see, especially with the acquisition of Bethesda. I think a lot of people looked at games even as washed as Bethesda Game Studios is, and Starfield was received the way that it was. I thought it was an okay game, not amazing, but thought it was fairly decent. I probably thought more highly of it than most people, but that's a game that obviously didn't have a PlayStation release, and I'm not saying a PlayStation release would have changed the reception of it, but it certainly would have changed the commercial performance of it, and I think now the issue with releasing a game like Starfield on PlayStation 5 is that the opinion is kind of in place with that game. It would have been very, very different if you rode the momentum and it was launched on PlayStation 5 day and date with consoles, because people hadn't really come to a concrete conclusion on their thoughts on the game, and initially the game would have sold big. However, at this point, the opinion is the opinion. Everybody knows that Bethesda is kind of washed from their open world game standpoint, and Starfield is looked by many to be this lame duck Bethesda outing, and now if you release that game on PlayStation 5 at $70, I don't think it's going to do fairly well. Even if you throw in Shattered Space, even if there's a couple bells and whistles attached to it, I don't think that's enough. I'm not saying Doom the Dark Ages, the thing is with this game, I foresee it being good, but the same thing would happen. You wait 6 months to a year and you release Doom the Dark Ages, even if you bundle in, let's say, a season pass or something like that, and it's $70. We've seen it with PlayStation's game releases on PC. It's a fine residual revenue stream and adds another layer to their revenue, but ultimately you are stifling the sales numbers of these games, and it's a lot different with Microsoft's outlook for these games and PlayStation's outlook. PlayStation is very, very much still widely invested into the console market. You can see Microsoft, like, you gotta take the L when you have to take the L. There is very little chance of them coming back in the console market, and I think that is absolutely awful. Let me reiterate, it is absolutely awful. It's not a good thing that Xbox is washed right now. I know I use that term a lot, but Let's be real, compared to the late 2000s, Xbox is a shell of their former selves, and you can kind of see they're on their way out. Series X's, Series S's, some people have them, but they are selling so far fewer units than PlayStation. And you already see it, they're releasing their games on PC day one. They're now bringing their games to PlayStation. You would never see PlayStation. Maybe at some point PlayStation drops their games on PC day one, but you really think PlayStation at any point would drop like a Horizon on Xbox? I think it would be very ideal for the consumer. I mean, games being on every platform is a good thing, but I don't see PlayStation do that. Microsoft, their outlook as far as their business structure, it has to change. I think in an ideal world, they would love to have the style of ecosystem that PlayStation has. I think they would love to be in a position where they could sell people Xbox Live Gold memberships and they can get more and more people onto Xbox Game Pass. But we've talked about it over and over with Game Pass. The issue with Game Pass is always going to be that there is a ceiling to it. At some point, you can raise and raise and raise the value, but there are only so many gamers out there on PC and PlayStation, especially on PC when it's its own client, and we know Steam is king on PC. There's a ceiling to how many people you're gonna get to subscribe on a service like that, and at a certain point, there's an offset of you continuing to increase value, but the subscription level is not going to raise. At that point, you've got to do something, and usually that means you raise the price point of said subscription service, and in fact, you lessen the value. And I would say that releasing these games on PlayStation 5 is almost an admission of you lessening the value on Game Pass, because the idea of Game Pass was you were, oh my goodness, you're getting these Xbox exclusives on these platforms, but now these games are going to be available on another platform. It's not necessarily a direct lessening of the value of Xbox Game Pass, but you're trying to generate other revenue streams off of the same games, and Game Pass isn't going to get you there. The Steam releases alone aren't going to get you there. Now you want to get that, million plus copies sold, 2 million copies plus sold, which is an easy number for a game at the level of Doom the Dark Ages. Like, imagine that Doom the Dark Ages being released on PlayStation 5 adds another 2 million copies sold, which I don't think is a crazy number. Guys, that's $140 million of revenue, and you would be foolish to think if the game was released on PlayStation a year or two after launch that it would be selling the same number of copies that it could at launch. Sure, you do lessen the Xbox brand, but when you're at such a low level as a brand is already concerned that Xbox is, like, you gotta do something at that point. You kind of take the L as far as the brand being what the brand is, and you want to make revenue off of these incredible IPs that you have. And Doom is gonna be successful regardless. It would sell well. Like, I think it would do exceedingly well on PC and Steam. But, yeah, use it to incentivize people to sign up to Game Pass, but also collect that revenue for the people that just want to stick to PlayStation. I think it makes all the sense in the world. Excited for this game to see what it could be, because the idea and the early bits of information we're hearing about it, I think sound incredibly compelling, and I'm super excited about what this game could ultimately be. Doom 2016 I thought was great, Doom Eternal was awesome, and we'll see how this one turns out. I imagine early 2025 for this game. I believe Doom 2016 was an early 2016 game, Eternal was an early 2020 game, and then Doom the Dark Ages being an early 2025 game kind of tracks with their release cycle. But that is going to do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.